Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samra and this is not a TBR. This is simply just a list of books that are gonna help me survive this reading slump. So, you know the drill. Okay, November is already here and I've been going through a very bad reading slump. These past few weeks, the world has been a mess and my life was literally falling apart, so I had to keep things together very hard. And as a result of that, I went straight into a reading slump and stayed there for a couple of weeks. And yeah, so I kind of decided to start afresh and, get up with a list of books that are a little bit outside my comfort zone. I'm gonna leave epic fantasy alone for a while because I think that's kind of a bit too much for my mental state right now. So I'm gonna go with this list. Hopefully it's gonna help. So let's get right into it and see if I can, save myself. The first book on my list is Emily Wilde's Encyclopaedia of Faeries by Heather Fawcett. This one was published in January 2023. It's 325 pages and has a rating of 4.08 on Goodreads. I've been meaning to read this book ever since it came out because it has fairies. I'm kind of looking for a book with the same vibes as Half a Soul that I read earlier in this year. And I think this one might get a bit close. I don't know. I've never heard anyone comparing it to Half a Soul, but I'm going to give it a shot to see where it goes. This book is about a professor journeying to a small town in the far north to study fairy folklore. But what she discovers is dark fae magic, friendship, and love at the start of a very enchanting and magical fantasy series. The synopsis is intriguing enough for me. I've always been fascinated by fairy folklore, and I usually try to reach out for books who play with these kind of tropes. And on top of that, there's also the romance aspect, which I think is present in this book. There's this guy, I don't remember his name, but yeah. I'm hoping Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies is going to be a fast, fun read with enough magic and enough romance in it to, get me out of this reading slump, please. On to the next book. The second book on my list, I'm really excited for this book because I think it's going to be a very successful read. This one hasn't been around much. It hasn't been talked about much. You might have heard of it, I don't know. I'm going to be reading Bonesmith by Nicki Preto. Hopefully I pronounced it right. Sorry if I didn't. This is the first book in House of the Dead duology. The book came out in July this year, 2023. It's 464 pages and has a rating of 4.26, so pretty high, but it doesn't have that many ratings because not many people have actually read this book yet. The description says Gideon the Ninth meets the Game of Thrones White Walkers in this dark young adult fantasy about a disgraced ghost-fighting warrior who must journey into a haunted wasteland to rescue a kidnapped prince. You see, it's very interesting, right? I mean, I'm already hooked with just these few lines. This sounds very promising. I really hope I'm not wrong about this, but let me tell you more about this book. Our main character, Ren, is from the noble house of Bone. Ren kind of has to pass these trials to become this ghost-fighting warrior in her own faction, but sabotage causes her to fail the trials and then she's punished and banished to the border wall. Now Ren is determined to reclaim her family's respect, so when a prince from the House of Gold gets kidnapped and is taken beyond the wall, she kind of takes the chance to cross the bridge and go after the prince and rescue him. To do that, she's forced into an uneasy alliance with one of the kidnappers, a fierce ironsmith called Julian from the exiled house of Iron. That's all I know about this book, but it sounds very promising. I mean, it has a lot of elements that could work really well together. There are house politics, I think. There's magic, there's the dead walking, and a bigger conflict that we're gonna see at the end of the book. This one I really have high hopes for. I hope it's gonna become a favorite. The third book on my list is a murder mystery fantasy. But let me warn you, please do not run away when you see the cover because it's gonna be a shock. This one is called In the Company of Witches by Auralee Wallace, if I again pronounce it right. This is book one in the Evenfall Witches B&B series. I think it's a duology, if I'm not mistaken. This one was published in 2021. It's 336 pages and has a rating of 3.96 on Goodreads. So again, it's a murder mystery with witches in a small town. I first saw this book when Emily Fox from Books with Emily Fox, one of my favorite YouTubers, introduced it a few weeks ago, I think. And I don't know, that kind of sounded like a book I might enjoy, so I added it to my survival list of books for this reading slump. I'm gonna tell you what it is about very quickly. When a guest dies in the B&B she helps her aunts run, a young witch must rely on some good old-fashioned investigating to clear her aunt's name in this magical and charming new cozy mystery. This book has all the vibes for this time of year. I think it's perfect for November, and it might help me. I don't know. This is different from my other books. It's a murder mystery and a cozy fantasy, and I read a few pages and it actually felt good. So fingers crossed. I'm hoping this will be a success too, because Emily really liked this book and I trust her. Cozy fantasy this time of year, I think it's gonna heal me. Now to the last book on my list. This is gonna be a bit questionable. I mean, I'm not even sure about reading this book if it's gonna be a success, because it's a TikTok viral. And we all know what that means, that it might be disappointing. I hope not, but I'm very curious to see what this book is about because it sounds fun. Please let it be a fun read. The book in question is Assistant to the Villain by Nicole Maehrer, I think. I don't know any names today. This is the first book in another fantasy trilogy, and I'm gonna ignore the fact that I said I'm not gonna read series to get out of this reading slump, because all the books I picked for this TBR are first books in series. But yeah, at least they're the kind of series where I don't have to read all of them. I'm only committing myself to book number 1 in all of them. This was published very recently in August 2023. It's 352 pages and has a rating of 2.98. At least it's a very short book. I really hope this is a good one and it's not one of those TikTok viral books that are gonna disappoint me. Please. It's been described as Once Upon a Time meets The Office in this laugh-aloud viral TikTok series turned novel. This is about a sunshine assistant to an evil villain and their unexpected romance. I really hope this villain is actually evil and not just some, It might be fun. It might be fun. I don't know. When I first saw this book, I was very excited because it reminded me of the Japanese mangas I used to read back in the day when I was a teenager. And it does have that kind of vibe. So I'm going to give it a try. Hopefully, it will be a fun, quick read. Actually, most of the books I picked for this TBR are very short reads, except for Bonesmith, which is almost 500 pages. The rest of them are around 350 pages long, and that's a very manageable amount of pages for me when I'm in this state of chaos. I still have my commitments to the Wheel of Time series. I'm still in the middle of book 3 because I was there before this reading slump hit me, and I'm still stuck there. So I might be continuing that. The Dragon Reborn, I'm still going through it. And I will probably continue reading One Piece, the manga, because that kind of gives me hope for humanity and it's a very feel-good part of my reading. So that's it for this month. I don't know, TBR, getting out of this reading slump plan. I really hope it works because we're getting close to the end of the year and I need to get out of this slump, please. So tell me in the comments if you have any recommendations to save my life, to get out of this reading slump. I'd appreciate it. As always, thank you for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!